Everybody, thank you for joining us. My name is Alan Rich. I'm the managing broker here at Maximum Realty and Realtor Partners, and this is our weekly real estate backstory. We do this every Monday morning. We kind of like to start off our week with this. We kind of go over the comings and goings, everything happening in the real estate world, and thank you for joining us. So let me bring in our friends on Facebook here, and then we will be rocking and rolling. All right, there we go. All right, so I kind of want to start off talking about like the portals and web traffic. There's always a lot of conversations about, not just conversations, but a lot of real estate searches, property searches start on the internet. And where are most of those coming? And so right now, there's some new data out. And it does show that Zillow continues to kind of lead the web. Zillow is still like a really big leading factor. However, there are some new players in the market, and there's been some pretty significant movement in the market. And so there's definitely some winners. There's definitely some losers. One of the ones where we see a lot of kind of activity going on, I'll share my screen with you here, is that right now you can see that homes.com, which is that's the newest portal, not newest, I'm sorry, they were acquired by CoStar, and ever since they've been acquired, so their traffic is up about 200%. And so they're putting a lot of money. They're really trying to be number two to Zillow's number one. Zillow's traffic was actually down a little bit. Realtors traffic was actually down pretty significant, but nobody's traffic was down as much as Open Door. Open Door was down about 43% on their total traffic. And I do say that because even though we do see traffic and movement and like we're starting to see more marketing opportunities on homes.com and things like that, which looks like might have some decent opportunities for realtors to be able to partner and capitalize on. Still, at the end of the day, this is where all real estate traffic in the United States really kind of wraps up, and you can see that the big dog on the block is still Zillow. 43% of all real estate traffic starts and originates on Zillow. And so this is one of those where I know a lot of realtors that say, "Oh, I won't do anything with Zillow." And I think that you are kind of putting yourself at a bit of a disadvantage when you say, "Hey, I don't want to engage where 43% of buyers and sellers are on the internet at." That doesn't make any sense to me. So having things like a Zillow profile is very important. Making sure your listings show up properly on Zillow as far as they work. You can see that realtor.com is number 2, followed by Redfin. And even though homes is still a smaller percentage, they're growing at a very heavy percentage. And so there's a lot of money kind of moving into that right there. If you actually add up Zillow, Trulia, as well as all the other sites that Zillow owns, they actually make up well over half of all the traffic in the real estate space.
Morning.
So now got some interesting information about Georgia. These are the 10 states in America's strongest housing markets, and these have the best value in the United States. And guess where Georgia comes in? Number 5. We are the 5th best value. Now, I know a lot of folks that are lamenting about, "Oh, remember we could buy a house for $50,000, and I really want to buy. I'm looking for houses, and we always have the investors. Yeah, I'm looking for anything under 100,000, that kind of stuff." And so I understand that we remember some of those things. You got to understand that property values have increased over 50-something% over the last 3 years. So, a house that was $200,000 a couple of years ago, 50% value increase is $300,000 today. And so the challenge is that even though we are seeing those same pricing issues kind of going on here, that we're still a great value compared to like the rest of the nation. So like we're still the 5th best value in the United States. At the same time,
our economy is ranked number 4.
We have the 4th best state economy in the nation. So, when you look at we're a good value, we have a really strong state and local economy. That's a really great place for housing to be in as far as real estate goes. Now, the other good news that we have this week is mortgage rates dropped. Okay,
Yay.
mortgage rates dropped almost 0.2%, and so we're glad to see mortgage rates moving kind of in the correct direction. Now, rates this week will be volatile. They're gonna be.
They're talking about raising again, even though it just dropped.
Yeah, I mean, like you can see that, this is kind of what's been going on with the Fed policy. So the Fed, the Fed is going to be meeting this Wednesday, and the general consensus is they're going to raise short-term interest rates by 1/4 point, which while that may not necessarily directly affect mortgage rates, what it does is it throws the bond market into just a tizzy, and they all start having just a duck fit. And that's what's causing rates to be so volatile right now. So we do kind of expect that they're going to raise it by another 1/4 point. That being said, we are looking towards the rest of the year of seeing interest rates kind of starting to moderate as we go along through the rest of the year. My personal feeling is even if they raise it, they're going to turn around and have to probably start dropping it here soon. We are seeing inflation moving in the right direction. That's a really good place for us to be there. Now, one other area that we're seeing that's really good when you start talking about mortgages and people being able to buy homes, we saved a lot of money. Americans in general saved a lot of money during COVID. And then since COVID, we've been spending it. However, that's starting to stabilize a little bit. We're starting to, level back off, and we are at much higher savings rates than we were pre-COVID. And so that's actually a very good thing for us to kind of see. I'm glad to see that Americans, because the number one source for where down payment money comes from,
Cash.
savings. Yeah. All right. USDA loan limits. A lot of folks don't realize that USDA changes their loan limits all the time. And right now we're seeing that where rural and even kind of far suburban neighborhoods are like those areas are really, really popular. And it's amazing how many realtors don't have a sense of comfort when it comes to USDA loans.
Douglas County, that's Douglasville. That is eligible for USDA up to $473,000. Make sure you double check the USDA map to ensure the property is set on the USDA property.
So all you do is go to the USDA site, and you can look up any property. You can look at many areas, because one of the great things that what's the greatest thing about USDA loans?
Zero down payment.
Big fat zero.
But with that said, please make sure you write your loan correctly when you make an offer and the correct amount of time period for financing. Otherwise, you're going to lose your client's earnest money.
Takes USDA loans a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
So for most of the state, it's $377,000, and then there are some areas that are up in the 470s. What I'm finding is most of those areas where the loan limits have really raised, there's not many USDA zones in there, kind of thing. And then some counties just don't even have it at all. Like you can't get a USDA loan in Fayette County, period. So there's several counties, and so it's not a perfect option for all buyers, but for a lot of buyers, there's been this trend to move outside the cities and to get out into the more rural areas. And here's a zero down
payment product,
mortgage product out here that you don't need. It's not a special DPA, that kind of stuff. And so it's a very positive program that I think that we could really be helping a lot of clients with. All right, now the median sale price continues to move up, and so we're seeing where property values are continuing. We're even though you watch the news, people are always talking about, the market's going to crash, things are going to be happening, blah 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 blah. Guess what? Property values and median sale prices continue to increase. That's largely due to our new listings. We don't have. I mean, you can see new listings are. I don't just mean like down. They are trending down. They've been trending down. For a year almost, and so listings are getting really, really tight, or new listings. So we just don't have enough new listings coming on the market, and now we've reached that tipping point where right now total inventory is down 16%. We're down about 47% from where we were in 2019. So we have half as many homes that we had on the market 4 years ago, we have half as many homes. And so, for residential real estate, it's heavily based on supply versus demand.
Correct.
And right now, a lot of our consumers and the basic reading and the trends is they understand where interest rates are. They've kind of realized that. The
And
problem
they
is we don't have enough inventory.
excuse me, and they realize that the interest rate is not going down. It's just, if nothing else, it's very volatile. So when the interest rate dip, you'll see a lot of people lock in the rates.
Yeah. So overall, home listings have disappeared during the pandemic, and now you can see that just our total number of listings is in really, really bad shape. And one thing that we did share at our last sales meeting that is so important is around 47% of sellers decided to list their property after speaking with a realtor. And so within 6 months of speaking to a realtor, 47% of folks put their home on the market. And so we need to be reaching out, engaging, and talking to folks because goodness knows we need more inventory. Now, pending sales is down about 15% year over year. And we are just about to reach a tipping point because even though pending sales are down, we're about to come up to where they started dropping last year, and we're going to start seeing where those numbers start coming positive. As a matter of fact, pending home sales post its biggest monthly increase since 2021. And so our total volume, just the number of sales, is not where we want it to be. But however, that is stabilizing. And that's really what we kind of need for it to happen right there. But the challenge for us is that the average American home is harder to find. And which homes are harder? Like where do we have the highest level of competition? And that's suburban and rural single family 4-bedroom and suburban rural single family 3-bedroom.
Mhm.
Those have as far as just the overall availability of homes, they're down over 30%. Now, on one hand, it's very easy to look at where like where's it bad at? Well, but where are areas where we could find better inventory than others? So urban condos, urban townhomes,
Mhm.
suburban townhomes, even townhomes across the board have much greater availability. And I do want to kind of stress that we need to get out of our own bias when it comes to townhomes.
Well, honestly, townhomes not what I used to be. I mean, the old townhome are very building block look-alike, and now I see more curb appeal on townhome if not gated. So it has a lot more amenities.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than what it used to be.
Well, prior to the 2007-8 crash, we had been building a lot of townhomes, and then that crash came, and then there was a lot of foreclosure. There was a lot of property devalued in the townhome space, and there's also a lot of feelings that townhomes are just icky. And
Mhm.
so, but the reality is like that starter home, that's the townhome today.
Correct.
We got to get our head wrapped around that. So overall, who has got their head wrapped around it? The builder. So the builder confidence is up, and if you watch out there, you're going to see they're building a ton of townhomes right now. And so mainly because they're more economical to build, and they have a lower starting price point for
First-time home buyers.
First-time home buyers. Exactly.
And a lot of our buyers anymore are trending toward not having to do a lot of yard work. They want just a dog park to walk their dog and have a little more free time.
Yeah. So overall, our builders are feeling really good, and that's good because this is what's gone on for the last 5 or 6 years. You can see that construction is slowly trending up. It's not in any kind of great shape overall. But that being said, where are new houses being built? And guess what? The South has 39% of the population in the United States. However, we've got 56% of the permits and 58% of the starts and 56% of the completions. So we have more new construction going on here in the South than there is anywhere else in the United States. So we're really glad to see that. Now, there has been a lot of construction in multifamily as well. And so that has kind of driven to like where are the top 10 cities where rental prices are dropping the most? Atlanta comes in at number 7 with with the cities that have the greatest rental value drop.
And I would tell you, at one point, our rental rate was crazy. You could almost buy, especially during the height of the market, you could have bought less than you can rent for, much less with the
Strong, yeah.
interest rate.
But you know, what we want folks to understand is even though they may see rents going down, folks still want to own homes.
Correct.
And the number one source we talked about earlier, where people get their down payment for homes, is in savings. And so if their rents
Or
go down,
DPA programs.
they can save. You
But
know,
if you don't have the money, make sure you have the credit, because you can't do without both.
Yep. Oh yeah, you know that loan product that's out there for people with crappy credit. It's not there. It doesn't exist.
Well, I mean,
Yep.
it exists, but
No.
it requires a 20% down payment. I mean, it does
And if you had
exist.
20% down, you
And-
wouldn't have bad credit. Sorry, I'm just being straight up.
Well, it depends. Everybody saves a
Let's
little
shoot straight.
differently.
Yeah, let's just shoot
Everybody
straight.
saves
Yeah.
A little differently, so.
All right. So when is the best time to make sales calls? You know, we have our accountability. It's every Monday morning now in all of our offices. I hope that you're in here visiting with us, but you know, and if not, please do come
Yeah,
in.
I mean,
All of our offices have we'll talk a little bit more about it,
Yeah.
but I wanted to speak directly to the folks that are weekly, you know, out here and engaging. And so when is the absolute best day to make sales calls? It turns out that it's Wednesday, followed by Thursday, then Tuesday, then Monday. Friday is the worst day of the week to make sales calls.
Everybody's ready for the weekend.
Well, and you know, honestly, a lot of realtors take Fridays off anyway because
That's
a lot
true.
of folks work the weekend. So it's not that bad to have that kind of going on there as well. Now, what is the best time? So the 2 best times, 4 to 5 in the afternoon and 10 to 11 in the morning are the 2 best times. But really what you find is just kind of drive times, you know,
Yep.
that morning commute, afternoon commute are some of the best times. However, once it hits 5 o'clock, that's wrong. 5 o'clock, they stop answering their phones. At 5 o'clock, they shut their phones off. At 5 o'clock, they say no.
Well, unless they're dealing with someone they know and
Yeah.
are actively looking.
Yeah,
But as far as cold calls and prospecting, yeah, do it before 5.
before 5. We used to say 4 to 6. Now we're saying 3 to 5
Mhm.
because folks hit that 5 o'clock point, they're just not answering their phone anymore. So if you are going to make afternoon sales calls, 3 to 5 is your time. In the morning, you know, that 9 to 11, 8 to 11 is going to be your best times to make those kind of calls. One other thing that we are seeing out there is how important response time is. This is another item that we've been talking about a lot lately, and that is how responsive do you need to be? And so this is what happens this is your conversion graph for when you respond to somebody within 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. So on things like in our KV Core or in your CRM, you send out property alerts, and all of a sudden it pops up. So and so is on your website looking at properties. So and so opened this email. That's when you need to reach out right then and say, "Hey, I saw you were on my website. Hey, I saw you were looking at some properties. Are you ready to go?" You know, like this is the time to engage folks. Then the longer you wait, the longer you wait, the worse your conversions are going to be. And so like paying attention to things like that, it can be very beneficial to your pocketbook, because that's how people know, is it generally speaking, Americans constitute time as caring.
Correct.
Yeah. So again, our accountability is every Monday here at 9 a.m. in all of our offices. And you know, basically we come in and we go like, all right, how many days did you work last week? How many dials did you make? How many property alerts? How many appointments did you set? And then we go through what are our goals for this week? How many phone calls we're going to make? Appointment set, property alerts, whole 9 yards. And then what are our 3 lead generating activities going to be this week?
Well, the sheet looks just blah, but I promise you, if you come in and you actually work on it, you'll see the result and the difference in it.
This is about being brilliant at the basics. Like there's a lot of folks out there looking for hype and looking for the easy button on real estate. And I hate to break it to you, Buttercup, it's not out there. It comes with hard work, and it comes with truly dedicating yourself to engaging with your clients. And that happens by picking up your phone. The number one source for how people want to engage with a real estate agent is over the phone. So you need to fall in love with your phone, and you need, and sometimes we also need a little bit of a motivation, a little bit of maybe even a kick in the pants from time to time. But
Sometimes it takes someone that you relate to just to invite
Yep.
you, to get you motivated, just to kickstart. Once the kickstart goes, and then you know what, it's like an athlete. When they constantly exercise, they feel great and they're able to do whatever sports they're
also
doing.
nailed.
But when they stop exercising and they try to go back to the sport that they were doing, they can tell you it hurts really bad.
Always. All right, now coming up here later, I mean, it's almost August.
It's almost
really
August,
close.
y'all.
So August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We have the Tom Ferry Success Summit coming in. It's really hard to see the agenda. I'm sorry, it's just hard to make it. I'll try and print that out a little bit better.
Obviously,
But
you guys can come in our office and inquire about it. We'd be more than happy to let you know what's going on these agenda. But I will tell you, you'll get some nuggets out of this always.
I mean, like what you're seeing on all there, even though it's really hard to read, every one of those is a different topic. They're going to talk about it for 20, 30, 45 minutes, going over different aspects of your real estate business, generating sales, making more money, helping your clients, growing your business, that kind of thing. So
And
we
they're
strongly
different.
encourage you
Yeah.
to come in. All 3 days are different. It's the same thing again and again. All 3 days are different.
And you'll get 6 hours CE credit on top of that.
For each day that you come in. So you get 18 hours, you come in for all 3 days.
Multiple speakers,
Yep.
just so you know, each one of them has their own niche. So look at what they're doing and see what fits you, because we don't expect every real estate to be great at everything. There's no way you can encompass
Stick to
the
it.
whole, the arena of real estate.
Yep.
So come in
Right.
and look at it.
Now, this week, when it comes to CE classes, so tomorrow, my blushing bride. Go ahead and blush.
I am actually, that would be the blush that I apply. So tomorrow I'm teaching license law. For those of you who don't know, you do have to have a license law prior to any renewal of your licensing every 4 years. So please come in. We usually have a lot of fun. And I have people tell me that they learn something new every time they come in, because
She does
you know,
make it more fun because I make fun of license, like, oh, license law class. Woo, so much fun. But you do have to have it. 3 out of your 36 hours has to be in license law, and this will cover you for that.
and
Plus,
as our industry
you get made.
changes, I will give you a scenario that relates to what's going on right now.
Then on Wednesday, Georgia MLS is doing introduction to transaction desk in our Noonan office. This is like fundamentals. You need to know how to work transaction desk if you're going to operate in Georgia MLS. It's just it's a must. And then on Thursday, FMLS Matrix Advance, and that's going to be in person at our airport office. And the exact same thing. If you're going to be heavily engaged in using FMLS, then you've got to know all the buttons, bells, and whistles to be able to run Matrix properly. So we hope you guys have a great week. If we can be of any kind of service, please call, text, smoke signals. We hope that you guys have a wonderful week, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great Monday.
Bye-bye.